Hello, I'm Carl Stabe, and today I have Neen James with me. She is the author of Exceptional Experiences. We just did the full interview, and I'm so excited because now you have 5 minute system, and you're known for this system called BDA. What is it, and then how do people apply it?
BDA is in your DNA, but what does BDA stand for? Before, during, and after. And everyone listening to this can apply this to their life. I'll never forget when I first had the opportunity to stay at the AKA Alexandria, a gorgeous little hotel in Alexandria, Virginia. And they had a hotel dog. His name is Senna. And as soon as I saw this dog, I was on my knees and I was playing with this beautiful puppy, Carl. And then one of the team snapped a photo. Didn't think anything of it. Forward to the next time that I stayed at the AKA Alexandria. And when I checked in, the team was smiling. They said, Miss James, welcome back. And there was Senna, this puppy. And I thought, oh my God, what? That's an amazing coincidence. And I said, hi, Senna. And they said, we knew you were checking in today, so we made sure Senna was here to greet you. Very fascinating. I got to my room, Carl, and wouldn't you know, on the table, there was a framed photo of Senna and I together from my last visit. But wait, it gets better. There was a handwritten note with a paw print from Senna that said, I'm so glad you're back at my hotel. I was blown away. Now, this system, Carl, I don't think it even cost him $5 to have that. But oh my gosh, I remembered it so much. This is a tiny way where they thought about before I even got there. They noted how much I loved Senna and I love animals, full stop. They printed out a photo, they placed it in my room. During my stay, I was so excited and I couldn't help but tell everyone about that.
Mhm.
Afterwards, Chris, who was the general manager at the time, reached out and said, we were so glad to have you at the AKA Alexandria, as we loved it. And Senna says to say hello. That BDA, before, during, and after, was a simple system that the AKA hotel brand decided to put in place where I felt not only seen and heard and valued, my gosh, now I'm telling you the story about it. And I
Mhm.
stay at AKA hotels whenever I have that opportunity because it was that emotional connection. So I think from a system point of view, look at your business to think about what can you do before you interact with a client, a patient, a student, a community member. During their time with you, which is where we generally focus most of our energy, how do you elevate that experience? But don't forget about after. Too
Mhm.
often we focus on just the during part of the experience. And I'm going to really strongly suggest to our listeners that you think about what can you do before someone even does business with you, and then after, how do you thank them for that business in the creative way that the AKA Alexandria did?
That's beautiful. So, real quick, was it a different location and the dog was there at the different location, or was it the same location?
Same location because I checked in. And you know what's really interesting is that GM, Carl, has become Chris, is now the GM for the Sunrose Hollywood in West Hollywood, where he's working with like all the fancy names in the music industry and everything. And so on my last visit home to Australia, he reached out and he was like, you have to come stay at my hotel and check it out because we stayed connected. He followed on
Mm.
Instagram and I was like, oh my God, I would love to. So I got to see Senna again. We took another photo. I got to experience a new hotel. But isn't that really interesting that from that one interaction with a puppy, me literally on the floor at the hotel cuddling this puppy, someone thought to take a photo. And that was really clever. That's a system. Then to
Mhm.
think to print it out and put it in my room, that's a system. To get a
Mhm.
handwritten note with Senna's paw print, a system. Hoteliers are
Mhm.
great at putting handwritten notes in their guests' room. But to
Mhm.
stay connected through LinkedIn, that's the genius of this system. That Chris and I now connect. I've recommended his hotel to many people. And
Mhm.
like I said, whenever I can, and there's an AKA property, I'm not an ambassador for the brand. I just love the experience that they provide because it is so personalized, it's so customized. And we can all learn some of these best lessons from people like hoteliers who personalize and customize everything. BDA, make sure it's in your DNA.
I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
My privilege.